It's quite funny that when you talk about players having doubts at mind viruses. I've got to tell one funny story when I was coaching. And I was coaching the Tigers, and it was the very first year I coached the Tigers. And Mark Geyer was at the Tigers. Alan Jones signed him from Penrith, came across to the Tigers, and Mark Geyer was at the club. And one of the very first training sessions that I had with the club, Mark came up to me after training. He said, "Junior, we need to talk." I said, "What's up?" He said, "Well, I'm getting towards the end of my career and I'm a bit worried about what I'm going to do after footy because everyone thinks I'm a thug and I don't think anyone's going to employ me to do work." He didn't use those words because employ is a big word for Mark, but he said, "Got to give me a job." So anyhow, I said, "Well, mate, what do you want me to do?" He said, "Well, you must have some ideas because people everyone sort of looks at you and they don't think you're a thug and I really want some tips on how I can get people to want to give me a job." So anyhow, I said to him, "Mate, what about doing some work in some schools and would you like to go to maybe around the schools? We can get the media, the newspapers, the radio guys along the television to do a story on you to show the soft, sensitive nature of you, and that will get people understanding that you're not just a thug." "Oh, that sounds great. When can I start that?" I said, "Well, you're probably going to need a little bit of training." I said, "Actually, I've got to go to Birchgrove Public School next week." I said, "Why don't you come along and you can observe while I actually do the presentation and just see if you feel comfortable in that environment." Fantastic. So anyhow, we went down to the school. There's a year 5, year 6 group in the school. There was probably about 80 kids, 70, 80 kids there, and boys and girls, probably 11, 12 years of age, 10, 11, 12 years of age. And I've had a chat to them about health and fitness and sport and the value of sport, that sort of stuff. And at the end, I thought, well, boys and girls, any questions? I thought, what a great idea to get Mark up, to get a bit of exposure talking to the kids. Right out. So I said, "Mark Geyer from the Tigers here. Mark, do you want to come up here?" And he looked a bit sheepish, but he came up on stage. And anyhow, there was a couple of questions for me. And then there was a question down the back, a little chubby kid down the back corner of the room, trying to impress his teacher, obviously, sticks his hand up. So they've got a question for Mr. Geyer. And so they took a little microphone over there, gave it to the kid, and the kid said, "Mr. Geyer, I would like to know what's your philosophy on life?" This is a kid that's 10 years of age, right? Trying to impress his teacher, no doubt. And Mark's gone. And I put the microphone, I said, "Mate, just give a couple of little tips on what inspires you, what do you do each day, stuff like that." "Oh, yeah, and it's not a fast computer, you got to understand." So he's buying a bit of time. "And what's your favourite food, and you play sport, and your favourite subject?" And then all of a sudden the lights went on, bang. He had something, right? He had something. You could tell Mark had an answer. And he said, "My philosophy on life." He said, "My philosophy on life is that I work hard." He looked at me, and I went, "Great, mate," because that was good. Work hard. And he obviously thought there was something missing. So he said, "Yeah, my philosophy on life is I work hard, I play hard." And he looks at me again. "Mate, it's fantastic, great, good stuff." But he's on a bit of a roll, yeah. "My philosophy on life is I work hard, I play hard, I sleep hard." And I'm thinking, I'm not so sure where this is going. But anyhow, he's on the roll. And he finishes off, my philosophy on life is I work hard, I play hard, I sleep hard, and I wake up hard." So the principal, I think her name was Mrs. Edwards, said, "Boys and girls, we might just wrap it up there." Needless to say, Mark didn't go on to do many school visits in future. He ended up on a radio career on Triple M. But it's quite interesting.